Zoltar.
Hair on this mic.
Welcome to my life.
Yeah.
I'm covered.
We're doing
hair.
ASMR. Picking that hair off of the microphone.
Can you hear that?
Yeah. Yeah, if you get headphones on, like put these on, you can hear all the ASMR sounds if you touch the mic. It's very satisfying.
Tears around for now until you show it.
Yeah, it's got to stay a secret. But yeah, we could make ASMR too. We have everything we need for that.
The potential.
Yeah.
Just let me know when you're ready for us to see.
Oh, we could start with the first slide. It's not going to give anything away.
Oh, the
Not
reveal.
anything. It's a black screen.
Nothing. It's nothing. It's about nihilism. It's about the void of eternal hopelessness.
Okay, welcome. Do we do an intro? I don't remember.
We do kind of an improvised intro every time. So we can start by saying happy birthday, Emily. This is
Yeah,
Emily's
my
birthday.
birthday.
So this is a celebratory episode in a
Just
lot
get
of
to
ways.
yap,
Yeah.
unlike every other day.
It's a special day of yapping.
But before we start, we can talk about how we went to the Bigfoot Museum.
We did.
That's right,
We got
yeah.
Mothman.
This
did.
Mothman,
I did
if you
get a
can
little
see him on
Mothman
camera here.
from the Bigfoot.
This Mothman comes from the official gift shop of the Bigfoot Museum in Ellijay, Georgia, which we've been meaning to go to for quite some time. And would you say it delivered on your expectations? I feel like it delivered on mine.
I think it delivered. I thought it was going to be slightly bigger.
Yeah.
Me too, yeah.
I think that's the only thing, but it's also an LJ, so...
There's not
That's
a lot of
true.
room. Yeah.
Yeah,
Be
it's
there.
basically roadside.
Mountain country roadside attraction. But for the kind of thing that is, I feel like
and
it's
for the
higher end.
price, $9 wasn't too bad for it. So
That's pretty good.
yeah,
Nine was like a
$9
perfect
for-
price.
$9 per person. That's a really good price. But a lot of the things were decently priced, like this little guy. So
Yeah.
it was worth it to me.
I thought it was worth it just to see that diorama, that life-size diorama they made of those guys in the
yeah.
cabin being sieged, laid
Yeah.
siege to by Bigfoot.
That was well done.
Whoever made that gets my chef's kiss of approval. I would love to meet whoever put that together. The sounds you could hear through headphones
Yeah.
were another favorite part
That
of
was
mine.
great. Seeing Bigfoot's poop
Yeah.
was insane.
Oh my god, the length of that thing. The
was
length of
wild.
it. You could go fishing with that turd. That's a rope.
That was crazy.
Guys, go to this
It was
museum.
like-
If you're in the area, go see the turd.
It was huge.
Worth
It
the
was-
price of admission.
With his hair,
All
there's
together.
casting, there's all kinds of cool stuff
There's a
in there.
DNA
so.
lab. It's the next best
Yeah.
thing to Jurassic
It's
Park.
also
yeah.
a research center, so people can go there and tell their Bigfoot stories, or call them, or email them. They'll take all that information. They're researching Bigfoot constantly, so it was worth it.
So, folks out there, if you're listening to this and you have a Bigfoot encounter that you have definitely been a part of, call this center and tell them your story. They would love to add it to their songs of praise to Bigfoot.
I also just want to say that we learned that Dog Man and what was it, Skunk Ape,
Yeah,
and
skunk
all these,
ape, yeah.
all these things are actually different big types of Bigfoot. So there's lots of Bigfoots out there. So maybe if you had a cryptid encounter, it probably was a Bigfoot encounter also.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Bigfoot is apparently an umbrella term.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Apparently the Yeti's brown.
Yeah, it's not white.
I think that's...
That was wild. I did
I-
not expect a Yeti to be.
I feel like that
around.
doesn't play with
No.
Darwinism, you know? They're not going to survive out there in the snow if they're not blending
That's why
in.
they're so rare.
Maybe they've been like hunted to extinction and none of them have thought, well, you know what we could do is we could get some bleach
Oh, yeah.
peroxide. But, you know, Yetis, that's my suggestion to you if you want to survive in the Himalayas.
But that was a fun time. It was a fun little trip.
Yeah.
And we learned some stuff about Bigfoot that will help
Yes.
our movies later on.
Just an aside, this has nothing to do with whatever the hell you're about to tell us, Emily.
Yes.
Maybe.
You've been hyping this up.
What
What
is
if this
it?
is about Bigfoot and it is? So we know nothing. That's the thing. You've been hyping this up and not telling us anything about what it is.
it's gonna not be funny at this point, but
Okay,
it is
yeah,
a secret.
I'll be the judge of that. Okay.
All right. So dates are important.
Dates as in actual dates on the calendar, or dates
yeah,
as in
yeah,
romantic
calendar.
dates? Calendar dates, okay,
yeah,
the more fun kind.
Yeah, knowing. Yes.
Well, like, it's funny how you guys went to like dates or like dates on the calendar. I was thinking the food.
The
The food, yeah. like
dates.
Indiana Jones, bad dates.
That's the next. That's the next powerful.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So knowing when things happen
Uh-huh.
is important, right?
Right?
For example, December 14th, 2024. It was a Saturday. Do y'all remember what you were doing that day?
It was 2 days after my birthday, so...
Well, fine.
Man, birthdays are just like all over the place today in our discussion of things. But I don't remember what I was doing. That's the thing. If you thought by me saying that I knew what I was doing on December 14th that year, I wasn't. I didn't know what I was doing.
Y'all can look at your calendars if you
Let's-
want to.
let's see.
Now you can.
Yeah, let's see
you
if there
want.
was
Is that
anything.
Friendsgiving? I don't know.
It is Friendsgiving.
That was our
Good
Friendsgiving.
job.
Okay, yeah.
Yay.
Okay, yeah, because we celebrated all the
Yeah.
December
Birthdays,
birthdays.
yes.
That's it, yeah.
It was our Christmas/Friendsgiving party.
Wow.
Yep.
And I, like an idiot, did not remember that at all.
There's just 2 days
I
after.
hosted
Yeah.
it, so that's why I
Yeah.
think it was like
Yeah, you got an advantage
I did
here.
have an advantage,
You
yeah.
you studied for the test.
I hosted it.
So
it was here.
Yeah.
us and 13 of our friends, we took a trivia quiz. And on that trivia quiz, there was a question. Do y'all want to read the
Oh,
question?
yeah.
Let's read this aloud. Yeah. Christmas celebrates the birth of Jesus, but he may not have been born December 25th. What season was he really born in?
Now, the correct answer was there's actually a lot of debate, and we do not know, which is correct. But I said spring, and I want to be right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're correcting the record here.
There is some in-text evidence we can use to find out the season.
This is why we should have had Adam here.
Yeah,
right,
eat
I
crow,
forgot.
Adam,
You
yeah.
should, because he made the trivia quiz.
Did.
You were wrong, Adam.
Get him on FaceTime right now.
Yeah, come on. Yeah. We got to
Him
see his
at work,
face reacting
calling
to
him
this.
up. Hey, yeah, let's do this.
Go to the
PowerPoint.
bathroom real quick.
Yeah.
For this like hour podcast now. Let's see.
Okay, so what we know, I'm going to recap the Christmas story for y'all. So the story of Jesus' birth is only in the books of Matthew and Luke, surprisingly. It's not in every single gospel. So in Matthew, we have the virgin pregnancy. Mary's a virgin, gets pregnant. So there's the Magi, the three wise men, as we modern day know. And they follow a star in the sky, and they bring gifts to baby Jesus. King Herod slaughters some babies because he's afraid that the new king of the Jews has been born. And
So just kill
that's
them
his
all,
title. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that happens in Matthew. And so the Jesus family flees to Egypt during that time, and they returned from Egypt. In Luke, we have the virgin pregnancy. We have the Jesus family travel to Jerusalem for a census.
So this one tells you why they're there. The other one doesn't.
So he's born in Bethlehem.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the other one, I think they're just in Bethlehem and they flee to Egypt. And
So-
this one,
they don't get murdered.
Yeah, they travel from where they live in. This will have a map. So they live in Galilee. They travel to Jerusalem for the census, gives birth in Bethlehem, and flees to Egypt and return. So also in Luke is the appearance of the angel to the shepherds in the field to say,
Classic.
yes,
Be not
Jesus is
afraid.
born. And some various unimportant people meet Jesus.
Randos.
Yeah, but same sort of vibe. There's people meeting Jesus. So there's a little difference, not much overlap. And they return to Nazareth, which is in Galilee. So a little going and returning, also a theme. So I've created a timeline.
Ooh, okay. Based on all these little pieces from various sources, we can actually put a timeline to it.
Yes. Quick correction. I have in the next one, it's 1 BC and 1 AD. They're not the same year. There's also no year zero. So I've messed up on every single timeline. So we're just going to pretend that's not there. 1 BC and 1 AD.
So there
are
is no year
two
zero.
different years.
That's
Yes.
just what the next year was after?
Yes.
Like 1 BC to 1 AD?
Yes.
Okay. I always thought there was a year zero for some reason.
Yeah.
I guess it doesn't make any sense there would be.
No. Yeah, it messed me up big time.
Yeah.
So from Matthew, we know that Jesus was born while Herod was king. We know that they return from Egypt when Herod is dead, and his son Archelaus reigns in Judea.
I don't think I knew that they couldn't return until the guy was just dead.
Yeah,
man.
because he was killing all the babies under 2 years old.
I guess that makes sense, but I don't know that I ever heard that specifically.
So Herod the Great co-ruled with Archelaus in what we know historically. So there is some overlap, and we don't quite know how long they co-ruled together. So we got the ... And he has another son, Herod Antiochus. So there's two Herods that we could be talking about, but Herod the Great had the son Archelaus. They're both rulers of separate parts of the area. So there's just like, it's not all one country.
Okay, there's a little bit of dissent. A little bit of, like, I get this, you get that.
Exactly.
Okay.
I have it as the same year. 1 BC, 180. They are separate. There's no year zero. I just didn't want to recreate all these timelines.
We just have to space it apart in our minds.
Yeah.
Doesn't exist. Okay, so the census in Luke, we know that Augustus Caesar was the Caesar at the time. He's the one who ordered all of the Roman territories to be taxed. You need to figure out how many people you have to see how much to tax them. And we know from in-text and in archaeological evidence that Quirinius was governor of Syria. So Syria was like where Syria is today, but also the Galilee. So he was the governor of the area. So he was the one giving or enforcing the census. And we know he was a Roman legate after Archelaus is banished. So
He got banished.
he got banished.
What did he do? Do we know?
So King Herod was just kind of crazy.
Oh, baby killing kings. Huh?
Yeah, he killed some of his sons as well.
Oh, he liked killing. You know,
He
got
was
a taste
very
for it.
paranoid.
Yeah.
And we know there was a rebellion because of the census in 6 AD. So we have a solid year for the first time. We could put that on our map.
There it is.
Yep. So you might be noticing there's some inconsistencies.
A lot of overlap.
So in the story, King Herod is in fear of the future king of the Jews because that's his title. So he orders all the baby boys in Bethlehem, 2 years and younger, to be killed. So there's no historical evidence for this. It would have been a very significant event.
Yeah, man, genetic bottleneck. Whole generation slide, yeah.
But Herod do be killing his sons. He had 3 of his sons executed in 7 BC and 4 BC.
Wow.
So this, the story of him killing the innocents could have been inspired by Herod. You could hear that and be like, yeah, he'd do that.
I could see rumors spreading where
Yeah.
it's like, did you hear how he killed that guy? I bet he killed some more guys like that. I bet he really enjoys it.
So we put those on the timeline. Creates a bit of a problem, though. Luke and Matthew don't quite agree because you either have anything this way happening in the story with the census, and in the story where they flee Herod the Great, it's any time before that. So it's either before 4 BC or after 6 AD.
Okay, so there's just this sort of zone where it could have happened, could have landed anywhere in there.
So actually the opposite.
Really?
Yeah.
So that empty space could not have happened there.
That's the one time it could not. Okay, I get
could
it
have
now.
happened
Yeah.
here. Could have happened here.
A little
so
bit
there's
before, a
no
little bit after.
overlap. But should we even take the books of Matthew and Luke as historical face value? Of course not. They're just authors were using a literary parallelism of Messiah characters after the fact to enhance the reputation of Jesus. This is not like deceptive. This is very normal in the ancient world. Like stories have meaning. They're important. It doesn't matter if they're true.
Yeah, everybody loves a good story.
Yeah. So Matthew, we have the slaughter of the innocents and a return from Egypt. This sounds a bit like Moses.
Oh, damn, yeah.
Because the Pharaoh also does some killing of babies.
That is definitely true.
Yeah.
And he returns from Egypt.
Man, makes me want to watch The Prince of Egypt now.
I know. I love that
Great movie.
And so he's a bit of a Messiah character. Just quick recap. Where's Jesus from?
He was from Nazareth,
He
right?
was, yes. But where is he born?
Bethlehem.
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 Why is he born in Bethlehem? It's because of David. So King David, most important king, he reunited the northern and southern kingdoms. So he's also a kind of savior figure. I gotta watch House of David.
House of David.
It's a new show. So, and then in Luke, we also have the census. And there was an actual guy, Judas of Galilee, who led the rebellion against the Roman Empire. So he's also this savior figure who was actually an historical guy.
Interesting, yeah.
So the theory is that they were using these characters as metaphors to make Jesus appear more messianic.
Yeah,
after the
kind of like a
fact.
history repeating itself deal where, like,
Yes.
look, he's just like these guys.
Exactly. So whoever wrote the Gospels, though, were still influenced by the historical climate of this time. Like they had memory of Herod killing his sons and the census and the rebellion. So I don't think we shouldn't discount all this evidence. Now zoom in, now enhance. So I think we can agree that between 7 BC and 680, so from Herod the Great killing his sons to the census, is about the time Jesus was born. This is what scholars say also. So
That's
I did it right.
Math checks out.
Exactly. So the star, the Bethlehem star, the Christmas star. So we know that it was seen by magi. Magi just means magus or magician. So they were scholars, astrologers. So there's astrology in the Bible.
There is,
It's biblically accurate. They've been considered to be from the East. So a lot of people think they're Persian. But from the East could also be referencing the star, like it rises in the East. And Persia was part of the Parthian Empire at that time, which is like a Greek kingdom. So they saw a star in the sky that indicated there was a baby born to be the king of the Jews. And they traveled to the king of the Jews now, Herod the Great, to tell him, be like, congratulations on the baby.
Oh, they thought it was his baby?
That's what I inferred,
Potentially.
but they went to congratulate, not to
See,
warn him.
I feel like that makes perfect sense because
Yeah.
they wouldn't go tell the guy like, "Hey, somebody's gonna fucking kill you." They would think like, "Oh, that's probably your kid."
Yeah.
That I've never thought of it that way before.
And they brought gifts, so they were
Yeah, gifts for
Yeah.
the king.
foreigners that brought gifts, and they were just congratulating him. It's not quite literally they saw a star in the sky. It's probably more likely they knew all the math of astrology and found that something was happening in the sky that would indicate a king was to be born.
See, that's interesting because people have always tried to debate like what was the Christmas star. I've heard like a lot of ideas thrown around about what the Christmas star was, and honestly, it makes so much more sense. Like, what if it wasn't just one star? Like they just knew these stars.
Exactly. And we know that the star stood above the place where the child was. So the interpretation is that it stood still. So we're either going to use Babylonian or Hellenistic astrology.
Okay.
Doesn't make a difference. They're pretty much the same. It's mainly the same as today as well. Just little
Not
little
much has
differences. So astrology is the study of the placement of the planets and the stars in the night sky. The planets have symbolic meaning. The constellations have symbolic meaning. How the planets are aligned with each other has symbolic meaning. And what the sky looks like at the time of your birth determines your personality or your future, everything about you. So we know that the star signifies its kingship. We know that's related to the East. We know it's related to Judea because it was the king of Judea. So things we should probably look out for. Some planets. Jupiter is the king planet. It's also the biggest, but it's also the Roman version of Zeus, who's king of the Greek gods.
And they didn't know that when they named it. They didn't know it was the biggest planet, did they? They just kind of like...
That's a good question. I
I've
don't know
always-
if they named it Jupiter. No, they would have known it was the biggest planet.
They would have? They'd be
Yeah.
able to tell?
I think it's astrology. They had some astronomy.
Yeah, they got
knowledge.
math.
Yeah.
And
That
also,
makes sense, yeah.
They didn't know how big it was exactly.
They couldn't
Yeah.
measure it, but they could
They-
tell by like the brightness. And,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ancient people, with our naked eye, we can only see up till Saturn. So if there was a bigger planet further out, they would not have known about it. But yeah, I think they could have figured out that this was the biggest planet. Some constellations to look out for. Capricorn, leader of the zodiac. Sagittarius.
That's me.
Oh,
I already revealed what my
no.
birthday was, and we know what your birthday is, Emily, so we
Yeah.
can figure out everybody's star signs. People in the comments work it out. Yeah.
do the math.
Yeah.
So Sagittarius. So planets are like the rulers of certain signs. So Jupiter is the ruler of both Saturn and Pisces. And Jupiter is also exalted in Cancer. So if Jupiter is within these constellations, it's super good for you. This Jupiter's super powerful. Kingship is super powerful. In Leo, there's a phrase of the Lion of Judah. A lot of the kings would be considered lions of Judah. And lions are kind of kingly. They're strong. They're the king of the jungle. King of the desert.
Yeah. Did they even live in jungles? I always I have
don't
trouble
know.
picturing a lion in the
I think
Amazon
it's in the
or something.
Sahara.
Yeah, I was-
that kind of grassy savannah area.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
picture the veldt. There's that
I think
story.
the king of the
veldt about
jungle is
lions
like
eating
with
people.
tiger.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I'm picturing.
Tiger Moore's jungle and king of the savannah would be the lion, but that doesn't sound as good.
No.
King of the jungle is badass.
Some stars. Regulus literally means the king, so the king star. It's pretty bright. The sun, because it's the sun.
The fucking sun.
Yeah.
The sun they would have considered a planet, but the sun obviously was like a really major god in the ancient world.
Can't ignore that big bright thing in the sky.
Can't.
That we need for life. So.
Exactly.
Yeah, all
Makes
the lights
sense.
from the sun.
Yeah, so super important. It's just a theory, but so there's this thing called the priestly breastplate. It's this thing you see right here.
Oh, that thing. I've seen that before. I always wondered what that was.
Yeah, so it's part of the priestly garb during like Iron Age Judea. Wasn't Judea at the time, but that area. So it's like a breastplate. It has 12 stones on it of different colors.
This reminds me of like Marvel when it's like, oh, he has the Infinity Stones.
Yeah, it's an Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah. With
It,
12.
it makes me think of the 12-stone mega church. I wonder if that's where they got the name.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know where the name comes from.
This
so
is a
maybe-
deep
Yeah.
take, though.
Interesting idea, yeah.
But it was used for oracle. I don't know exactly how. And there's a lot of discussion about it, but it was used to like ask God, like, should I do this thing? And somehow they would get yes or no.
It's probably like a Ouija board where like you get directed to a color and
I think so. It's
Interesting
gotta.
idea. I'm picturing them doing that. I could see that.
Yeah. So we don't know what the 12 stones represent. It's most likely the 12 tribes of Israel. It could be the 12 astrological signs or both. We don't know exactly like which stone is associated with each tribe or even which tribes were included because there's more than 12. That's a different PowerPoint.
We know one went to North America based on
Yes.
that PowerPoint. So.
Yeah, it's only a hypothesis that 12 tribes and 12 astrological signs are associated at all. So we're on a limb of a limb.
But seems to line up.
Yeah.
So,
So we know Jesus is part of the tribe of Judah, as was King David, although that's debated also. That's another PowerPoint.
we don't know anything. We sit on a throne of lies.
But Judah's important. So Judah is associated with Leo or Aries, because there's a bunch of disagreement on which astrological signs correspond to which tribe. So Leo or Aries.
Man, you know what I just realized is Benjamin coordinates with Sagittarius. My name is Benjamin and I am a Sagittarius.
Oh.
I don't think there was anything intentional about my name coming into existence that way, but it's freaking me out thinking about that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's all coming together. Ben is the Messiah.
I might be. Do I look like the guy? I mean, I kind of look like the guy.
You could play Jesus.
I could, yeah. Jesus Christ Superstar.
Okay, so
There we are.
are there any significant astrological events that happened during our little tiny time frame? So many. So there's the Great Conjunction, which is when Jupiter and Saturn, the two biggest planets in the sky, come very close together from our perspective on Earth, and they create what looks like, from our view, a very big bright star. So that's called the Great Conjunction, and this happened 3 times in the year 7 BC. In the constellation Pisces. So that is, Jupiter rules that one. So this is pretty significant. But in my opinion, the Great Conjunction is usually about bad things. Like 2020, the bubonic plague. But there is some king symbolism here. So Saturn is the Roman version of Kronos, which is the father of Zeus and all the other Olympian gods, and Jupiter is the Roman equivalent of Zeus. And Zeus ends up killing Kronos. So there's this theme of a new king conquering an old king.
I only know about this because of Laura Olympus.
Oh,
Man.
fun! I love Laura Olympus.
See, I just think of the painting. Like, I've seen that painting, Saturn devouring his son, and that's what I think of all the time.
That's it, yeah.
I think I've seen pictures of, like, there's that whole keep Christ in Christmas and then keep Saturn in Saturnalia thing. I see that picture used a lot with keep Saturn in Saturnalia, and there's, like, an empty manger next to it. Like, you just ate the baby
Oh no!
Jesus.
I have not seen that.
People have fun with that, but I think
it's
about
fun.
that all the time.
But Jupiter is kind of. Do you want to explain it, Kelsey? What Jupiter and Saturn symbolize? You don't have to.
Like, in astrology?
Yeah.
I like Jupiter is like, I just think of Jupiter as like abundance.
Yeah. Like expansion,
Yes,
growth, ambition.
Because it's about to be in Cancer.
Yeah.
in June. So I was like, it's like a good year. It's such a good year for me because of that.
Oh, good. And Saturn is about the opposite, like boundaries and obstacles.
Yeah, going through our Saturn return right
We
now.
are.
Yeah.
I saw that. My Saturn is like trine, like whatever that means.
That's like when it makes a triangle.
Yes, it does. I don't know what that means, but that's where it is right now for me.
Must mean something. It sounds significant.
Yeah, we're having our obstacles and like stuff in our way right now for
It's going to turn out good though.
hopefully.
It's like dying and being reborn.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna finish a master's degree, so
Yeah.
I think that checks.
which
That,
means
yeah.
it's in my ninth house, which means higher education. So
That checks.
I think mine's in the relationship one.
you're gonna end up married by the end.
I'm joining a nunnery.
Yeah.
You're gonna be married.
All right, so this happens every 20 years or so, so it's not too rare, but it's not always visible. So sometimes it's like too close to the sun. So when the sun rises, obviously we can't see it because it's daytime.
Yeah.
So it is significant that we can see it in the night sky, and it's significant that it happened 3 times in 1 year.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
So there's also the Jupiter-Venus conjunction. So conjunction just means like side by side.
They get close together.
Yeah. So Jupiter, the biggest planet, Venus, the brightest star, coming together looks like a very bright star.
I know we just had an event where, like, supposedly you could see a smiley face in the sky because we
yeah,
had
I
the
saw
moon with like,
that.
the 2 planets right
Oh
above
yeah.
it.
I did not see that.
I
but-
didn't see it. It was cloudy over my house when that was
Yep.
supposed to be visible, so I missed out on that. But
Yeah, so this actually happens in Leo in 3 BC and 2 BC. So the two brightest things in the sky, it's visible in the east. Venus is the last star you see as the sun is rising. That's the last star you see.
man, we're building so much on these past
I
PowerPoint
know.
lore things. Yeah.
And there's also a Jupiter-Regulus conjunction in Leo in 3 BC and 2 BC. So that's the king planet, king star, double king symbolism. And this happens every 12 years. So it's not too. But in this instance, Jupiter is in retrograde. So it seems retrograde. Do you want to explain it, Kelsey?
Yeah, Kelsey, this is your lore here.
This is what I'm like.
I'm sorry.
Like retrograde.
Mhm.
Jupiter retrograde. I don't really know much about Jupiter retrograde. It just kind of like
Well, just retrograde in general.
retrograde. It just causes like a lot of like trouble typically. Like
Yeah.
because like Mercury retrograde, we have a lot of technology problems. Venus retrograde, you technically have a lot of like beauty and stuff like that. So when it kind of gets Jupiter, I would assume that probably is like abundance, having blockages.
Yeah, like
and
stopping or going backwards.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
which is it.
And it could also be from the perspective here on Earth, when a planet goes into retrograde, it's going and then seems to stop before going back. So the star stopping over the child who is born could be in reference to a retrograde.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And this happens every 4 months per year. It's not too rare. But Jupiter, Venus, and Regulus converge in fall of 3 BC. So triple bright stars. So there's also Revelation. The
Oh,
Revelation
amazing
theory.
picture here. Amazing image.
Explain the picture.
So we're going to.
Yeah.
Y'all are familiar with the Book of Revelation,
To
right?
an extent, yeah.
Last book of the Bible. Very wild things. It's all about a prophecy a guy named John sees. So in it, there's a phrase, something like a lady dressed in sun standing on the moon. This could, to me, it sounds like, could be interpreted to be the sun in Virgo, the Virgin, in line with the moon. So it could be this astrological symbolism. And this happens in actuality in 3 BC. And this is the full quote, but she has, well, first of all, Virgo, the Virgin, some references to Virgin Mary.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's clothed in the sun, and the moon was under her feet, and she has a crown of 12 stars, 12 tribes, 12 astrological signs. I don't know. And it does have her being pregnant and giving birth to I think it's like a king figure. Yeah, who will rule all the nations. And there's a dragon nearby who's going to eat the baby.
Wow.
So this could be the constellation Draco,
Oh, okay.
which is nearby. So it makes sense.
Could all be in the stars.
But Revelation is famously a nonsensical acid trip.
Uh-huh.
There are other interpretations about the 12 stars. Could it even be the 12 tribes? May not even be talking about Jesus.
I think it's Talatni, the Queen of the Stars, and she's going to give birth to Abeloth, who is called the Queen of the Stars. Star Wars lore.
Okay, I was about to ask. I'm like,
Yeah.
Star Wars?
Yeah. But I've seen that picture before of like the Virgin Mary with the moon at her feet and the 12 stars, because I remember in Catholic school they would show that to us a lot. They would give us like devotion cards with that image specifically on it.
I did not get that.
You never saw that?
No.
Man, maybe they didn't really push the Mary stuff on you as much
They
as they
pushed
pushed it on
Mary,
us.
but not that picture of Mary. It's different Marys.
See, interesting. Tying it back to my birthday again, the like saint whose day is on December 12th is Juan Diego of Guadalupe. I specifically remember
Okay.
that because like I was always like playing him in stage plays that we would put on, because every like morning assembly would do this stuff about saints, and they would give that to me
So
because it was
fun.
my birthday. But he was one of those that like had a supernatural encounter, had a vision of Mary, and it looked exactly like that. And there's these iconography things of that encounter, like this really psychedelic, like tie-dye looking vision of Mary with the moon at her feet and the 12 stars in her head. I know I've seen that image because of that. Like you can Google like Lady of Guadalupe. It's on Bodega Candles. It's on all this stuff.
This
But
explains so much about you.
I know exactly where I've seen that before.
Oh, that's crazy. To me, this is very French.
Interesting.
So that's interesting to hear.
Yeah.
So it's our little timeline.
Uh-huh.
Zoom in, now enhance.
We're dancing again.
So these are all of our stars that we mentioned, except for this one. Don't look at this one. I decided it's not significant.
Oh.
So there's a lot of things happening in, what is this, 6th and 7th BC, 2 and 3 BC. A lot of stuff happening in the 2 and 3 BC. Mm-hmm. And there's a whole bunch of symbols that I could explain, but we just went over all of it. So we have a range of years, but what about the season? Because that's the question we're trying to answer.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, sheep season.
Sheep season.
Okay.
Obviously. So in Luke, we have the shepherd story. We know that they were living out in the fields nearby. So people of the Levant, they were nomadic pastoralists, which means they move seasonally between a fixed summer pasture and a winter pasture. So they would go to the highlands during the summer and the valleys during the winter. And Bethlehem is located in the Judean highlands, about 775 meters above sea level, higher even than Jerusalem. So we can say it's highland.
Yeah.
So it would have been the summertime, the Mediterranean climate. It has very long summers, so from May to September. So from our spring to our fall. And winters are very short, so only like December, January, March, sort of cool and rainy.
So it's a lot like Atlanta.
Kind of.
That's how it feels sometimes here.
Yeah.
For sure. So I think we can say summer, right?
Yeah. Sheep season.
Yeah.
The sheep explain everything.
Yeah. The only problem with this is the sheep, they were in the fields nearby. Nearby could mean anything. But we're going to say summer.
Makes sense to me.
So Jesus also has a cousin. I forgot I did this. So that's they also have a significant birth story that we can use to calculate Jesus' birth date. Do you want to guess who it is?
I think I know who it is.
Who it is.
Kelsey, do you want to guess?
I'm sorry, I'm testing your Bible knowledge. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of Bible knowledge.
I just remember doing like Stations of the Cross and stuff in high school.
To like actual Catholic school. I just did Catholic church. There's a difference there. I got enough to get confirmed,
Yeah.
where I had to do some like Wednesday classes. That's it.
I'm not even confirmed. I just went to school
But
and
yeah,
had
I'm
to
saying
do
that's
this
like
stuff.
that's like my knowledge is only from my little classes I had to take. Yours is actual like in school.
Yeah.
at
To be
They
fair,
Catholic
made
I
us
school.
take
yeah.
these like religion and theology
Yeah, I did
classes. It
not
was like
take
we got
religion
tested
at all.
on this.
To be
So-
fair, I didn't know this from church either.
Yeah, I guess it's not talked about that much.
Yeah. Do you want to throw a guess out?
I think it's John the Baptist.
It is
right?
John
He
the
is cousin of
Baptist.
Jesus.
Jean the Baptiste.
Not to be confused with the musician John Baptiste.
It makes sense.
Yeah, you don't want to make that. So he actually has a pretty similar sort of where God comes and tells his father, actually, an angel comes and tells his father, your wife is going to be pregnant. So kind of very similar to the Jesus story. But we know that, so his father was a priest, and the priests take turns serving at the temple. So there's 25 divisions. It's going to get complicated. So his father was part of the 8th division, and they served for 1 week from Sabbath to Sabbath. And we know that the angel visited his father during his time serving at the temple. So we have a week. So, and we know that 6 months into Elizabeth's pregnancy, so John's mother, an angel visits Mary. So we know that, oh, and Herod was also the ruler. We know that. So from whenever John was conceived, 6 months after that, Jesus was conceived. 9 months after that, Jesus was born. We can calculate this.
Oh, math
so
time.
excited. So about 15 months after, whenever the angel came to John's father, is when Jesus was born.
That's it.
Okay, so how do we calculate this? There's a lot, but it's possible. This is me doing calculations. It's like 3 slides put together. And
Wow, this looks like one of those like serial killer like scrawlings, but it's beautiful.
It's crazy.
so I'm going to summarize that. So after a lot of calculation, so the 8th division typically served during the months of Av, Tammuz, and Tevet and Shevet. I was supposed to look up how to pronounce those correctly beforehand, but I did my best. So they're here on our little map, and they correspond to, I guess I didn't put it in yet, but it corresponds to like from like December to February, and then from June to August.
So it's like a different set of 12 months that they had that are just like off based on where ours are today?
So it's a lunar calendar.
Okay,
So
actual moon
yeah.
phases and stuff.
It's a bit different. So Jesus would have been born in the months of Nisan, Iyar, or Tishrei, or Heshaphan. I'm so sorry. I planned on learning the pronunciation.
There's going to
so
be
sorry.
experts on this in the comments who are
They're gonna
roasting you
roast
live. Yeah. Like, you can't say this. You don't know what this is.
No, I'm anti-Semitic. No. Okay, so Jesus was probably born in the months of March, April, May, or September, October, November. Oh yeah,
It's
there
the
we go.
likeliest times right there.
So we know in the Mediterranean climate, summer is from April to September, yada, yada, yada. And sheep season is summer. So the scholarly perspectives, 7 BC to 4 BC. I was supposed to delete this one.
That doesn't exist. Not
It doesn't
important.
exist. The scholars agree with me.
Good to know.
They put forth
Trust me. Like, just trust me.
Yeah. They put forth very similar star sign, things in the sky. So sheep season, summertime. So April from September. So that's the month of Nisan. These months. I want to respect it, but I also don't want to embarrass myself. So we know it was probably April, May, or September, give or take a month. So in May, the 29th of 7 BC, there's the A triple Great Conjunction. And these aren't exact dates because Jupiter and Saturn are together for about like 3 days. So give or take a day or two. It also happens in June 6th. The Jupiter Regulus Conjunction happens May 8th, 2 BC. And it goes into retrograde on June 17th, 2 BC. And September 14th, 3 BC. So I did make natal charts. So like charts of when people were born for every single one of these.
Oh my God, look at these.
Yeah.
These are fabulous.
But I made a little Excel spreadsheet instead. So we know we've narrowed it down to either 7 BC or the 3 to 2 BC. It depends on what you want to make more important, either the triple Great Conjunction or the Jupiter Regulus Conjunction, whatever's more convincing to you. And also, what was it? Saturn changes in 7 BC from being in Pisces to being in Taurus. And we've talked about the Saturn return. Jesus dies during his Saturn return. So
That's crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's another story of dying and being reborn. So
Exactly.
fits
Yeah.
the bill.
It does.
It all connects.
I'm just glad that there's astrology in the Bible, so people can stop being like when
I
they see tarot
know.
cards or astrology just on like on TikTok or YouTube,
Yeah.
and they're like,
There's no
"Go trust Jesus, go love Jesus. This is doing the devil's work." And it's like, no,
No.
it's
Yeah.
here. It's in the Bible.
It is. It's
yeah, you don't
fun.
know Jesus at all, man.
I'm glad. Okay.
So, and if you want a Jupiter to either be significant in Pisces or Leo. So do y'all have a favorite date looking at this very confusing chart? I could answer any questions about symbols or whatever.
So these are all dates that it could have happened. These are like reasonable dates where perhaps.
Yeah. Oh, so within season, exclamation mark means yes. The squiggle line means
Okay.
give a month. So it's
You know
plausible.
what? The 8th of May, that would make it almost Christmas right now. So that's going to be my favorite.
Wait, what?
Yeah. It's like May the, what is it today? It's the 2nd of May today. So Christmas would be like a week away if that's the actual day it happened. The real Christmas.
Oh, you mean Saturnalia?
Yeah.
I was very confused.
I'm looking at all the astrology
Yeah, yeah,
signs. I also think May 8th, but not for a reason that you're going.
No,
just looking at the
that's my
astrology
reason, yeah.
signs. I feel like
Yeah, I want
I like it
to.
more. So I think the second BC.
Yeah, I would expand more on the Saturn return. So Taurus, my star sign. So Saturn in Taurus. Taurus is very solid, very firm, very stubborn, but also about luxury. So Saturn returning in Taurus. How would you interpret that?
Depends on the houses and stuff too.
That's true.
So that's kind of hard to like
And Pisces is very flowy.
Yeah.
And I also like that it has fish symbolism.
It is.
Fish and Jesus go hand in hand.
Yeah. And I'm also looking at like down here. At
Oh, yeah.
Venus. That's what I'm more looking at.
Yeah, this is the triple conjunction.
Yeah.
All three of those. That one's in retrograde. This is the Regulus, Venus, Jupiter, plus the Mary standing on the moon. And then Jupiter, Regulus. And then Jupiter, Venus, retrograde.
See, if there was one that I was going to pick based on like what seems the most significant, it would
Yes.
probably be the 14th of September because it has that like queen of the moon and the
Yeah.
stars in it. Because like again, that's just a symbol that has always been like in my
Yeah.
yeah.
I really like the coincidence of that being with this conjunction. But I don't want to put too much stock in Revelation.
No, it's an acid
It
trip.
would, yeah, it would ruin my beef with Revelation.
Yeah.
But September 14th is like from the 11th to the 15th. So there is a scholar who says that I follow, that I respect, says September 11th was
Which is
Jesus'
nuts.
birthday. Yes.
Yeah.
So you're in agreement with the scholar.
Okay. Yeah, that feels good. I'll take that.
But I think this is interesting. I don't know if I want Jesus to be a Gemini, a Virgo, or a Taurus.
Taurus just fits to me.
Really?
Yeah, it just fits.
I think
Jesus is a
Virgo
Taurus.
fits the best for me. I don't know why.
I don't know, he just gives off Taurus energy to me.
Yeah, it's definitely Earth sign.
Yeah, so yeah, Earth, definitely.
You know what I just randomly remember is I think if you actually calculate based on the Bible how old the Earth is, it's a Libra.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Adam's a Libra,
Yeah.
so he's basically Earth. That's what to say. No.
I know I've heard that somewhere.
All right, so I want to be asked again. What season was
was
Jesus really born in?
in? All right.
Well, I
Yeah.
feel like this question, I mean,
I've gone beyond.
what you just said basically fits what Adam said, that there's a lot of debate because
Okay,
we have
but-
multiple dates here in the fall and
We're right back where we
the
started.
Mediterranean summer is from our spring to our fall. So I was wrong by saying spring, but I think it's summer.
Okay.
And there's our map again.
Back to the
If
map
you want to
again,
look
yeah.
at it.
This is where
timeline.
everything falls.
And that's the end of my presentation.
Wow. Okay. There's people out there who really thought it was December 25th that are
They
just like
really-
shaking their fist right now.
You're like, put Christ back in
Put him in
Christmas.
Christmas, damn it.
Oh my gosh, this was so much work. Because I could have read all the scholar stuff.
Uh-huh.
I didn't want to. I wanted to do it myself.
No, you did the math.
yeah, he did a lot of stuff.
You did the monster math.
When Adam gets home in like 25 minutes.
No, we could have waited.
Yeah, oh no, if we'd only, he could be here eating crow right now. Come on, Adam. Okay.
We're going to have to do it all
That's,
over
that's what I'm
again.
saying. Is that
We're
when
gonna
he
do it
gets here,
again.
we'll have a
Yeah.
gap between, D&D time.
Yes.
We'll sit Adam
Uh-huh.
down and be like, Adam,
Yeah.
It's time.
Yeah, he comes right through that door. The first thing we're telling him is, all right, you're getting...
I'm like, feed the cats first because they're babies.
Yeah,
Yes.
feed the cats, and then you're getting schooled.
And then you're going to sit down here. Emily has a presentation for you. That's all we're going to say. We're not going to say what it is.
Yeah.
We're just going to go through it and see what Adam's reaction.
Good. Adam, do you remember what happened on December 14th?
I know, because I said several times that night, I am
should
right. I'm
record
going to
it.
make a PowerPoint about this.
You should record just his reaction, just to go at the end of the video that you post.
Yeah, this is going to be
Just-
bonus content. Yeah.
bonus little thing of like, what is Adam's reaction
You're like,
to
wait.
this?
Yeah.
I'm
Stick
excited
around
for that.
after the episode, all you watchers, because you're going to watch Adam learn the
My
things.
fiance.
Yeah.
Yeah, my fiance.
Yeah.
Who's basically Earth
Yes.
because he's a Libra.
He's a Libra. Earth is a
Okay.
Libra. I'm trying to remember where the hell Earth is a Libra comes from, because something said that, and I was like, whoa. But it might have been in a book or something.
Know how you would calculate that.
Yeah, maybe it was just like in the context of some fictional thing, but I still like the idea of Earth being a Libra.
Yeah.
It might have
makes
been
sense.
God,
Balance.
was it Good Omens? I think it was Good Omens.
Oh, yes, it was.
Yeah,
I love
'cause
Good Omens.
Good Omens is good. I can't wait for that movie to come out. It's too bad it has to be a movie and not a full third season, but it's still going to be
okay.
good.
I was like, it is a show. I didn't know that,
They're
though.
making a movie right now, but I need to rewatch it now that we've mentioned it. It's been a long time since I've seen any of that.
Yeah, I made this PowerPoint specifically for Adam, despite him.
And he's not here to see it
not
right now,
here.
but if only he knew what he's about
He'll
to get
see it
into.
soon. He'll see it soon.
Well, it was a lot of
Show it
fun.
off to my fiance.
Yeah, I feel like I need to do personal research now about the tribe of Benjamin and Sagittarius, because I'm a Sagittarius and I'm a Benjamin. So there's something
Yeah,
here.
there's something
I'm about to go
there.
on a personal journey, a
goodness.
discovery who the hell I am.
One crazy thing I saw, like it was like a TikTok trend for some weird reason, where it was like based off your saint that tells you like how you are as like a person. The saint you chose when you got when you did
Yeah.
confirm.
Okay.
Not that saint. When I got confirmed. And I was like, oh, okay. So I looked at my saint because mine's a Saint Veronica. And she's the saint of like photography.
Oh, cool.
Films,
Yeah,
And I was
okay.
like, and I'm a filmmaker. So
Whoa, all right.
that actually kind of worked out. And I picked her kind of like on a whim because
Yeah.
I didn't because at my church it was like you're supposed to pick your name or your middle name, and there's no Saint Kelsey or Saint Lizette. So I was like, okay, I get to pick my own saint, and I was the only one who was able to pick my own saint. And
Oh.
Everyone else had a name they could use, and you
Yeah.
just picked it
Yeah.
randomly.
yeah,
Everyone's-
we're in Richmond Hill, Georgia, so you know
Yeah, most names are gonna
most
be-
names are typical Bible names. So
I don't think there's a Saint Emily. I think I looked.
There's not a Saint
I
Emily.
don't think
wow. That surprises
There
me.
might be a Saint Emile. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I wasn't looking for me. I was looking for my nephew.
I'm thinking now. God, what was I just thinking about? I was thinking about what were the most common names in the Catholic school that I went to, and I remember
This is a fun game.
yeah, Christina was like the one, I think, for girls. Like
Okay.
every girl was Christina. There were like
That makes
16 of
sense.
them. Trying to think what the most common guy name was. I mean, everybody had like really common guy names for the
yeah,
most
so
part.
we usually have like Matthew, John. Like
Yeah,
normal,
Yeah.
I think Jonathan was super popular.
Interesting, because I feel like nobody really knows who Jonathan is in the Bible.
I love that boy. I love that twink.
I've never heard the story of Jonathan before you told me about him, really. I knew everything about David killing Goliath and like all of
And
that.
that's it,
but
yeah.
They don't tell the story of Jonathan. That one's left out because they don't want you thinking, reading into it.
Yeah. I know.
God, I can't think what the most common guy name was. I almost want to say it was Ben, because there were like a bunch of other Bens, and I was
That's all.
pissed about that. I don't want to be like part of a match set. I want to be unique.
Oh. You could have gone by Jimin,
Yeah, it would have been
because that just means the South.
interesting.
Ben is just means sun.
Yeah, so south.
Sun.
I could have pronounced it jammin'. I was
Yeah.
I
pronouncing
was
drums a lot
saying you
back
could just do
then,
jam.
so- Yeah, and I'm the jam.
It's just
No, I kind of love that.
Yeah, I'm gonna start doing that, everybody. This is jam. I'm jam now.
When you
No
meet
one
new
else is
people.
jam.
I think Kelsey is Celtic, maybe for a lake.
Hmm?
Maybe I'm thinking of Kimberly. I'll
I think
have
it's
to look
English.
I know
Yeah,
Kelsey was a
nailed it.
male name before it was like adapted for women. I think I
It
knew
was a male
Kelsey.
name first, and then it became more of a female name.
My name means enemy.
Oh,
The funny thing is, when I was at Goodwill, I almost bought it, but I didn't. Now I'm wishing I did. It was like a 1,000 like kid names.
Oh,
from,
like a book?
Yeah, it was so cute. I was just gonna buy it because I was like, because I look up names all the time when I'm like writing scripts and books. So I was like,
Well, that's fun.
that would have been fun to have.
Yeah.
And then I was buying too much, so I put it back.
I love those name nerd websites where people just collect strange names and delve into the meaning.
Well, it's like I was just looking at my name. I was like, I find Kelsey in here, and we find out like what it means and stuff.
It means fierce. And maybe Fierce Island.
Fierce Island.
Yes.
Yeah, when I looked it up, like, sometimes it was like Victory Ship is what I would see.
Mine, like especially in Christian books, my name's always Ambition.
Mm-hmm.
But it comes from the Latin word for rival. Like a gladiator rival is like, like in sport, like just your opponent.
Yeah.
I can see where you can get an ambition out of that, but I think rival is pretty.
Rival is fun.
It's pretty gnarly.
So it's not like a mortal enemy you want to maim.
It's
It's just like friendly competition, like sportsmanship. Okay.
It's very
really
metal.
Interesting if your name meant like mortal enemy.
I would love that.
Yeah. I wonder if there is a name that means something like that.
It's a cat.
That's a cat. Mango. Mango, we know what your name means.
Mango said it's dinner time.
Yeah.
No, he was fighting with Stuart. Stuart probably jumped up behind him and he hissed at him.
Mango, did
Take
you
it
get
away.
jumped?
Or he was like maybe in the litter box and Stuart came in there. He was like, leave me alone. Leave me alone. That's probably what happened there. They have a weird friendship.
One of their names were really, really common. There were a lot of Michaels. I always thought the name Michael is interesting because it's an archangel, right? That's who Michael is. But like you look at it spelled out and you're like, why do we pronounce it Michael when it's probably supposed to be like Mikael? Like that makes it sound so much more angelic.
It's Micah and L.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Micah L.
Micah L. But we just say Michael.
Michael. I know it's
we don't
a cool
say
name.
Gabriel that way. We don't say any of the others that way that are like angel names.
Gabriel.
There were a lot of Gabriels and Gabrielas.
Yeah,
that's another. The angels were getting around name-wise when I went to high school. There weren't any Uriels though.
Ariel.
Ariel, yeah, which is also Shakespearean, male or female name.
Yeah.
Man, I feel like there are no male Ariels anymore after The Little Mermaid.
Yeah, I bet. I bet
that probably killed that side
yeah.
of things. Yeah.
Mango, don't play with that box.
Come say hi.
You pick him up?
Mango, you want to appear on the podcast? Oh, come on, Mango. We got cameras right here. You could get in front of them and be a diva.
I'll get
This is how we can close the podcast.
Yeah,
come
I'll
on, Mango. We need a Mango appearance.
Run.
He's gonna run. If I can't get him, I'll get another cat.
There's Stuart right there.
Yeah, you can get Stuart. Oh, here he is. Here he comes. Yeah, got you. We're about to see Mango
He's
appear.
growling. What are you doing, baby?
I don't think Mango has made a significant appearance on this podcast yet. We know he's been in the background of the episode about the Duggars, but he's not been right in front of the camera yet. And now you guys get to see this. So I think with that, I think that's the perfect closer here. No other words necessary. Mango.
I just want to also just finish for actually say something. I'm actually going to say
Please
something.
do.
I want to say that we will have more episodes that aren't religion. This is not our last episode of religion.
That's just my thing.
Yeah.
So I'm just
This is
saying,
Emily's
there's going to
expertise.
be more than just religion. So
We
just
cover
be prepared.
everything on this
but
podcast.
there will be more religion. Just know. I have some topics that are not religion that is going to be happening. So just wanted to put that out there. Now we can finish off Mango. Great.
I will attempt further in the coming episodes to convert you to Jediism or any of the other sort of galactic things out there. Perhaps realism. I do want to do one about realism, which I think will be quite interesting. But we're going to do other things too. I have other ideas. We'll brainstorm and we'll come back to the drawing board. But this has been fascinating, Emily. Thank you for sharing this with us on your birthday.
Yeah, thanks for letting me yap.
It's your birthday. You get to yap as long as you want to. We're happy to listen.
Now stay tuned for Adam's reaction.
Adam's reaction coming up next.
I got nothing but drum blanks.
You sure the day that you're thinking of happened earlier?
I was thinking of like Luigi Mangione shooting that guy.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, that happened like.
Yeah, that happened earlier.
Yeah, that happened earlier. Is this gonna like fact check my like thing?
No. Yeah, we did have a trivia game,
Yeah.
and there was a question about when
this?
Jesus was born. And I said several times that night I was going to create not a podcast, but a PowerPoint.
You did
explaining
create a podcast.
Why
though.
I'm right.
There is a lot of debate about it.
There is. We spent an hour debating. Do you want me to go through all of it? Will we go through it like... So there's some in-text evidence we can use to find out.